Welcome to Punky's World. This is a genealogy video, but it's a different kind of genealogy video. I just happen to have this here because I'm working on something. That's a notebook. I'm trying to link a family. So I have all the information in one notebook. All of it. So, I do recommend doing this for certain surnames, especially if you're deep in the throes of DNA research. If you've got a surname that's pretty closely related, but you haven't linked it yet, this is going to be your best friend. So that's what I'm working with, and that's why I have it out, actually. But anyway, what I want to talk to you about, I'm going to use this for cases. Okay. Is going back, rewinding back to what genealogy is and the reasons that people might start doing it. Now, back in the day, genealogy was a hobby that people took up that required a lot of physical trips to look at physical books, a lot of ordering physical documents, and a library of room to put it on. Today we have the computer. Many of our documents are scanned into databases that you can actually click on it and see a scanned copy of it, print it out if you want, or just save it to your tree or whatever. And we've come a long way, baby. Back in the day, it was an expensive hobby because you had to order everything. You had to physically make trips to, archives and genealogy libraries and regular libraries to go through microfilm and microfiche and all of that. Happy horse manure, as my father would say, only he would use a different word. It was a lot more work. It's still a lot of work, don't get me wrong. But now we have DNA. We have, like I said, databases online where someone has scanned in all the documents, from town A into the computer, and they've created a database so you can look up, this person, this approximate year, and give you everybody that kind of matches it. You find the one that's right, you click on it, you see the document, you save the document, you print the document, whatever you want. From the comfort of your home. And a lot of these are free. Family Search is your best friend. It's completely free. And has as many documents, if not more, than Ancestry. Ancestry has different databases, but I've actually found more actual documents on Family Search. And you can find free sites for whatever country your family hailed from originally. I have a great site out of Ireland that I've been using. But you also have to be careful, because most of the records that I would like to acquire from Ireland do not exist, because they didn't start keeping records in that sense. I mean, there may be church records floating around somewhere, but they didn't start keeping legal records of births, deaths, and marriages until after a lot of these people were already around. So a lot of these people don't have a legal record. They probably have a church record. And you're going to find sometimes, especially if your family were rural, that some births weren't recorded. I have a cousin of my grandmother who went to get married and found out his birth was never recorded. So his sister had to write a letter to the town to get his birth recorded so that he could get married, saying, yes, I witnessed the birth of my brother, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, I have the letter, the handwritten letter, a copy of it, not the original. And it's just, but that's what happened in rural New England, and I'm sure it happened in the rural South, and I'm sure it happened out west in the middle of nowhere, you know. So it doesn't matter where you're from, you might find, excuse me, a record like that isn't an actual record. But they accepted it so that he could get married and his birth could be registered so he could get married. You didn't know his birth was never registered. We live in rural New England. We didn't think about that. And the funny thing is, my grandmother's birth was registered. She was born right here in this town I live in 1912. It's funny, you know. What else? And what is genealogy and what it isn't? Okay, genealogy, my back is killing me. There. Need something for my neck. Okay, I need to move you closer. Sorry. There we go. There we go. Okay. What genealogy is and isn't. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have brick walls. I mean, that's just part of the deal. This is part of my brick wall, I do believe. Don't mind my handwriting. Anyway, I sincerely believe that this is part of my brick wall. My brick wall being my great-grandmother, my father's grandmother, on his father's side. Wish this would stay. There we go. I know virtually nothing about her. And I've narrowed her possible line down to this, because there are no matches under the last name that is supposed to be hers, which was Burgess. All of my matches in that generation are this name, Dalzell. So, you know, that could lead back to her, that are the right generation to be her family. Anyway, and they match everyone else that I know matches her. You know what I mean? The problem is everybody that matches her matches Wilson. because she was married to Wilson, so her kids are Wilson. Anyway, so you're going to run into those. That's why you work on all branches. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people will go and do a male line, like father to son, father to son, father to son, and not do the children, not do the siblings. You would be surprised the information you can find. I would be nowhere if all I did was do me, my father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, and my great-great-great-grandfather. That's all I would have. It would be nothing. But because, of course, I include my father's siblings, I include my grandfather's siblings, my great-grandfather's siblings, I'm able to have more. And I've been able to get pictures of people that I wouldn't have been able to ever see had I not done all the lines. So I believe that's important. So instead of just doing a straight direct ancestry, I do recommend doing all the lines. And you find fascinating stories along the way when you do that too. So, and heartbreaking ones, and that's something you have to keep in mind with genealogy too. Not all the stories are going to be happy ones. Some of the stories you dig up are going to be sad, heartbreaking. Found out that one of my distant cousins, and she's not that distant, died in the Hartford Circus fire in 1944. Because I got in contact with a family member who sent me their line of the genealogy, and she was in there. I'm like, so I ended up researching the circus fire, and got in contact with a gentleman who's keeping the history alive, and got her name added to his list. He found a beautiful picture of her. Now I have a picture of her in my genealogy. I wouldn't have that. Think about all the pictures, and that is one thing that Ancestry has over Family Search, is pictures. People upload more pictures there than they do on Family Search. But you can find pictures on Family Search as well. Now, when you go to Family Search, it's going to ask you to sign up or sign in. It's completely free. Just sign up. All that does is keep your information, what you found, and stuff. It's kind of like cache. CACHE. That's all. It didn't used to make you sign in every time, but now it does. And that's okay. Like I said, it's I gotta keep my hand down here. It's cache. It allows it to pull up whatever you've looked for before, and you can have a tree on there. Things like that. You can also connect with living people through genealogy, which is an amazing resource. They will give you pictures. They will tell you stories. You might even meet each other in person. We had a whole family reunion on one side of the family just based off genealogy, and this was way before DNA. My mother got together with a group of women who were all researching my father's great-grandmother, her side of the family. And they were all related through different siblings of hers. And they said, we're all getting together in Connecticut. Why don't you come on down? We're going to have like a family reunion. And we did. We had a cookout, and it was so much fun. Then we drove over to Foxwoods when it was over. Just our family, the three of us. But still, it was fun. And we all had our trees and, you know, because we're nerds. And a lot of us are still friends, like on Facebook and stuff like that. Facebook has made a world of difference in genealogy. Not only because there are a lot of Facebook groups, including my own for County Armagh. I think I have a French-Canadian one too. But County Armagh was not represented until I started my group. They had all kinds of other counties, but nothing for County Armagh. So I did it. And I just had somebody message me recently saying he would like to join, but he forgot to answer all the questions. I'm like, okay, click. And he's like explaining his family. Well, that's fine. I don't recall putting any questions, but someone else somehow became a moderator that I did not add and put questions in. Whatever. I made sure that there was nobody outstanding besides him, and there wasn't. Been a while since I've been over there. So, but the group took off by itself, you know what I mean? And if you see a niche, you know, for your particular area of a country that you're researching, create a Facebook group, share it like heck everywhere, share it in other genealogy groups, other groups for that country if it's a region you're doing, and it will grow. And there are a lot of groups. There's a group just for helping decipher records, because the old handwriting is mind-boggling. It's bad. Some of it's not bad, some of it's just written in a different script than we're used to. You know what I mean? It's cursive, but it's a different script. It's not the way we write cursive today. So, there's everything now online. Now, obviously, you want to do the cemeteries. And I've taken you on those tours on this channel. You know, showing you cemeteries around me that I can walk to. So, go back and watch those. Go back and watch some of my other genealogy videos where I give you tips and tricks. I give you websites. A lot of the websites I give you are linked in the descriptions of those videos. Because I did go back and link them when I remembered. Most of them are linked because even if I forgot, I went back later when I realized I hadn't linked them. Or if I did a 2-part video, they got linked in the second part. Something like that. So yeah. And don't get frustrated. Have fun. You are going to have brick walls. And you know what? Do another family. And work on the brick wall in increments. What I'm trying to do right now is not so much go too much more forward. I really can't in a lot of lines. It's filling in blanks in lines I already have. Filling in information on children in lines I already have. Filling in information on spouses in lines I already have. birth and death dates in lines I already have, that sort of thing. Yesterday was hard. And you're going to have these days when you have to go in and put a death date in and change someone from living to deceased in your tree that you loved. And that's what I had to do yesterday with my Uncle Merle. I went in, changed him from living to deceased, and I wrote his death date and place. Then I did the find a grave for him, which they keep a closer watch on for the first 30 days after the person passes away. So, which I don't have a problem with. But I knew he was going to be buried with his parents, and his parents already have find a graves, so I linked theirs to him. And now 2 of their kids are with them on there, my mother and my uncle. So, I don't have a picture of my uncle. I really wish I did. Hopefully he'll get a gravestone and I'll at least get a picture of that. That's going to be a while, though. They should be able to bury him right away because it's July. I mean, my grandfather died in February. So the funeral home held on to his ashes until April or May when they could actually dig to bury him. I guess that's common in Maine. They buried my mother's ashes here in January, though. But I guess the frost is a little thicker up there. So, sit up. I know you're a sloth, but sit up. Uh-oh. I hit my thing. Anyway. And my genealogy knowledge and research skills help me with my kid missing as well. Don't be afraid if you need a newspaper to go to your local public library. Don't be afraid to go to archives in a state that your family came from. I mean, obviously, if you live in California and your family's from Massachusetts or vice versa, yeah, you might not be able to do that. It might not be something you can do. However, I live in Massachusetts. My mother's family is from Maine. My father's family is from Connecticut. We were able to go and see records in both states. So I live right in the middle. So, well, I don't. I live closer to Connecticut, but right in the middle in the sense that I live in Massachusetts. Excuse me. I've been to the French Canadian Genealogical Society in Woonsocket. They're known all across the country. People come from everywhere to go there to research. So, the Worcester Antiquarian Society, we have so much wonderful research right here where I live. I'm very fortunate in that. We've even been to a Latter-day Saints research center because they have research centers. This was before Ancestry had all their records online. So we went to the research center. We have been all over the place. And like I said, Cemeteries are great. If you know someone's buried in a particular cemetery, start walking it to see who else you can find in the family. You would be amazed. Take pictures, take notes. Whether it's on a tablet, an electronic tablet, or a tablet. And yes, they're both called a tablet. I think the tablet, the electronic version gets its name from this. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the case. Anyway, and of course, the paper tablet gets its name from stone tablets that were written on, like in the Flintstones. I wouldn't have wanted to be a paper boy back then. Can you imagine? A paper boy on the Flintstones. Oh, there, Mr. Flintstone, there's your newspaper. Crashed. Cracks your threshold. Anyway. Thank you so much for joining me. We need a little levity every now and then. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Please subscribe and please hype. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please comment. I've been doing genealogy for 30 years now. Gosh. Darn close to it. So, I'm no expert, but I'm definitely not a beginner either. So, I look forward to hearing from you, whether you email me, comment, whatever it is. Bye, guys. God bless you.